Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play. I was about to say Grand Theft Auto Yakuza. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'm the serious JG. Um, I mean, in theme and flavor, this game is a bit like Grand Theft Auto, I guess. In gameplay, not at all. But yeah. Last time I was supposed to let the video go short to make up for the video before that having gone really long. That didn't happen. Also, last time I was recording in the evening and was yawning a lot. Now. It's the next day, and I'm rested. I even had some coffee with lunch, but I also had a big lunch, so we'll see if I'm yawning now more from like food coma than I did last night from evening tiredness. I also slightly tweaked the sound settings because I felt like my commentary was a little hard to hear over the game, but we will see what that does. And anyway, let's jump back into the story here because I sort of did myself a disservice. As I mentioned, I am having to kill time. I'm not usually like waiting around for hours, but with my current situation, I'm at the medical center every day. So even if I'm only waiting like 10 or 15 minutes, that adds up to like over an hour a week, just kind of killing time waiting around in the medical center. So I end up looking at articles about games and stuff, and I knew, not when I very first started the Let's Play, but let's say within the last couple of chapters, I already knew, oh, we're heading towards something where the gangs are kind of in cahoots with each other. And I didn't understand it in detail. And I think I had this weird notion the Chinese were in cahoots with the Japanese and not the Koreans. So I was mildly surprised when we got to the point in the story where we go to um, the secret core of the Matrix base, where Colonel Sanders explains to Keanu Reeves how the Matrix controls everything. The designer, the architect, I guess is his name. Um, well, I remember the architect. They are not riff tracks I watch often because, well, for one thing, I have to dig out my DVD copies of the Matrix movies. Um, but yeah, like the riff tracks really kind of brings home just how boring the architect is, because when he briefly shows up in the third movie after having been in this one huge long talkathon sequence in the second Matrix movie, he shows up and like, oh no, not this! I can't take it, not this guy again. But anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Yeah, I guess what I was saying is I've done myself a disservice. I've read articles about the game, trying to find out when we got Namba back in the party most recently, and end up stumbling into details of long-term plot. But to my great relief, most of what I accidentally found out is now being revealed. It looks like this is the big plot info dump scene. We'll probably find out more detail about this Okabujo, whatever his name is, guy, who's like the big. It sounds to me like he's going to be like the main evil, nasty guy because he's a politician. He's not a warrior, he's a politician. So, I mean, there is no such thing as a video game where there's a politician, a character who specifically is a politician. Like, if they're the president, maybe you rescue them from ninjas, and it's not a game that's story driven. But in a story driven game where characters are supposed to have motivations and stuff, politicians are always bad in video games. Real life, you know, you figured that out yourself. But yeah, um, but we're finding out a lot in this big info dump, and I'm hoping that when it's done, the game will get more fun again, because the current direction of the plot is just kind of depressing and gritty and gross and grim. Although that's part of the Yakuza games too, like a straight main focus plot that's kind of like unpleasant and grim, and side quests full of goofy shit like, man baby patriarch and Mr. Masochist, the legendary masochist. So we'll see where the main story goes. But yeah, like the main story scenes can be engaging and cool and interesting, but you can see how sometimes it's fun to just dive into the mini games and put the main story off, because the main story is usually really grim and serious. Let's get back into that main story now.
Your friend Nambuk.
God damn it, JG. My friend Nanba. I forgot to change one thing on my sound settings. That is entirely my fault. It should be fine in just 1 second here. I'm hearing the sound through external speakers, which makes it entirely possible you guys will also hear the sound. Like, I don't want mic feedback. I am off to like a rip-roaring start with this I'm gonna do like I'm planning to devote the whole day to recording this, maybe some Legend of Mana later. I'm off to a fantastic start. Those 20 views per video are well earned. Okay, let's try this again.
During his search for his brother, spied on us and invaded our privacy.
Oh God, this guy's
I
delivery is so
assume he
goofy.
began with the fake bills because that was his brother's subject of investigation.
No one talks like that.
Ruthless, digging through Komi Jewel affairs like a rabid raccoon.
Like Rocket
Right from
Raccoon?
the start, he's refused to show any respect to the Eugene 3.
Well, why would he? Look
Now
at you
he's
guys.
seen the counterfeiting for himself, and we have no idea
We?
where he
No
is.
idea where he is.
We must ensure his permanent silence.
Well, cut out his
Why are
tongue.
you telling us this? You looking to make a deal for his life or something?
No, they're trying to politely inform you that you can't
Kazaga,
save
under
him.
most circumstances, all your lives would be forfeit.
But I like you for some reason.
But I have some idea of how this fake bill ended up in your pocket.
What?
Can you tell us?
Huh?
You do?
Out of respect for this person, I will look the other way.
I like Eri, and it's not her fault she got mixed up in all this.
But who the hell was it?
If you really want to know, you'll have to bring Namba to me. Personally.
It's a trap. He doesn't know. He's messing with us.
Sure is tempting. Kasugo, but I'll
What?
pass. Nothing I need to know so bad that I'd sell out a friend.
I'm the most loyal
What have you
Yakuza
done here?
ever.
You do realize.
Yakuza are known for, like, unflinching loyalty, but the great question is, and that's going into long, lengthy side speeches again, that's one of those things that I've always found interesting about the difference between Western and Eastern culture. Eastern culture, specifically Japan, like as a cultural thing, loyalty to a cause is far more important than being loyal to a good cause. It's one of the reasons, aside from just not wanting to, Americans aren't too big about talking about what we did to the Native Americans. But like, yeah, one of the reasons the Japanese aren't that big on acknowledging the horrors of what they did in World War II, aside from the fact that they prefer to focus on the horrors of what was done to them. But part of it is just the fact that they can't turn their backs on Japanese soldiers because culturally it's like their big heroes, Yukimura Sanada. He was fighting for a completely lost cause against other Japanese. So it's not like there's a Japanese nationalist spirit against the side that won in the Sengoku Jidai. But Yukimura is a hero because when he knew it was too late and he couldn't win, he still stuck to the side that he'd been loyal to. So for the Yakuza, it's like we're super loyal to what? A fucking criminal organization that's into like pimping and gambling. But anyway, we're meant to be. I'm making fun of him for being loyal to a friend, but it's actually pretty admirable, even if he just comes across at most times like a huge goof. I guess part of what this game does that's interesting, and I really got to stop going into these aside speeches. Part of what this game does that's interesting is it's like, okay, how would a goofy Dragon Quest ultimate avatar of goodness and light function in the real world? Because the hero of the earlier Yakuza games is much more quiet and badass than Ichiban. But yeah, like they're doing something very specific with Ichiban, which is fun. Which is like they're placing this like Dudley Do-Right type guy, and they're dropping him in the middle of a world where like secret criminal alliances are formed.
If word gets out about the counterfeiting, the Great Wall will crumble.
We don't care.
And that means the end of the Gray Zone.
And the victory of
That
Japan.
would suck. For you.
Boom.
Look, the Great Wall keeps the peace with less than honorable means, sure.
But it
But
keeps
it
the peace.
provides a safe haven for desperate souls with nowhere left to turn.
Soapland
Yeah,
workers.
man, I get all that.
Well, here's what you don't get, you moron. When we say no one gets in, that includes the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance.
You mean those guys
see,
from other
if
Yakuza
we're
games?
talking about people who owe their lives to the Gray Zone, you're one of them, Kasuga-kun.
Well, I'm glad we can
What?
call each other
After
Kun.
you were shot, the only reason the Omi didn't finish you off is because you were inside the zone.
What are you trying
Get
to
in
say?
zone.
That I
Gray
owe
zone.
something to the city?
Yes.
Go ahead and act like
That's
you're above
literally
it
what they're
all.
saying.
But you've benefited from our operation as much as any of us.
Well, not literally. I'm not rich. Well,
Still
actually, I am
doesn't mean
rich,
I'm
but
gonna sell out a friend.
Before you insist on that, I have something important to say.
it's better
Yeah,
to
what?
burn out than to fade
We already
away.
have assassins hunting Namba.
What the hell? Who's assassins?
Why are you shocked? Of course they
Mine.
do.
Somebody had to step up.
Stepping up in your book? Hunting an innocent man?
He spied on the. Oh God. You can't be surprised by this. He was like spying on violent criminal organizations who are now trying to kill him. Why is this shocking to you?
Unlike you, Kasuga, I don't turn down attractive offers. But don't
Like
worry,
that Korean lady wants to
I
have
told
sex
my
with me.
guys to make it painless. But my men have gotten a little rough lately.
And I've got a lot of scenery to chew.
Call him off!
No can do. I think one death for the sake of the whole city is worth the price.
What do you say?
That's
to
what
hold
I
for
learned from
now?
Star Trek 2.
If you refuse,
The needs of the
Namba
many.
will die.
But aren't you gonna kill him all the same if we bring him to you?
Yep.
Instead of worrying about that, worry about getting to him first. Your clock's ticking.
Hey, we don't even know where to look.
I may have an idea.
I've
Well,
placed a
there you
purple
go.
marker on your map
So
of where to
Kasuga,
go.
Given all this, what will you do?
I mean, guess I'm rescuing Namba from your stupid assassins.
Dumb cocaine. Stupid assassins. Man, your intricate web of criminal activities is so dumb. Talk to Jugin Han, and that will continue the story. Interesting. We can talk to Psycho and we can talk to Adachi, but we can't talk to Eri? What's that about? Oh, man. Hey, Zerfall, I'm pretty sure you don't watch the series, but just in case you are, there's probably a summons for Ernie in there. If only I could interact with it. We get a powerful new Ernie summon. Come on.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, yeah. So who gave you that fake bill? I'm worried about Nanchan, of course, but that's got me curious. I am, honestly, and, I've got to stop these asides. But honestly, that is one thing I appreciate. Even just what little I know about the Yakuza games from like intermittently catching lethal streams of the other games, they will address their loose plot threads. They will leave plot threads out there to give them opportunities for surprises later in the story. The games are well written. They might get a little silly at times with like every other character turns out to be secret Korean in that one game about the Korean mafia trying to invade a Tojo clan or Ami Alliance turf or whatever, but like they're not just they would not have like how did this bill get in my pocket and then like the game ends and you never find out. There are definitely games and movies and TV shows and even books with writing that just throws that kind of shit in and never resolves it. Or resolves everything at the last minute with like magic space wizards, like just like, oh crap, we never figured that out. A wizard did it. This game is going to have an answer for that eventually, and I'm confident it will make sense. It might be a bit silly and far-fetched, but there will be logic to it. And I don't know that answer. That is not one of the things I've accidentally had revealed to me. Passive voice had revealed to me by reading articles that I shouldn't have read because I didn't quite realize how much spoilers would be there. Numbers in a pretty tight spot. Monsters, stay away. So are you going to join us as an optional, as a party member or what? Because you're showing up a lot. You want to know where Nanba-san is right now, Kasuga-san? You already found him?
No.
All I said was I have an idea. I can't be certain. But the Yokohama Liumang are searching for him on their own terms. I can't wait till we reach a point where Chinese Mafia guy has a dialogue that isn't voice acted and I get to voice act him because my delivery will be all over the place. Where's Nanba? What do you mean never mind? What would that do? Okay, that's just like, oh, are you sure you want to... Wait, can we leave here without... There's a fence over there. Are we allowed to leave here and just continue doing side quests and bullshit? Ha! Okay. Yeah, I was like, no, we can't. We have to... We have to talk to him, because we can't leave this place. So I guess it's like, oh, did you talk to him and then realize, oh, wait, I want to talk to Adachi and Psycho and get, like, tiny, tiny bits of dialogue from them first. It's like, all right, well, if you're done wandering around... No, I want to check this urn.
No.
You already found him? I said as I have an idea. Where's Nanba?
Yo.
Yo! So where's Nanba then? There's no indication he's left Ijinsho. That would be impossible while the Gomenju has him in our sights. They keep saying it, and I keep forgetting how to pronounce it. Could he have gone to the police? You mean the dirty popo? I don't think he would risk that, especially if he knows any of what we've learned, that the police are entirely in on this. He'd have no way of knowing which officers are sympathetic to the Ijin 3. Apparently the only officer in the entire universe, like forget Japan, like the only police officer who isn't corrupt in this entire universe is, I guess, Date from the other games, and now Adachi.
Yes.
So where would he go then? Yes, if I were Nanba-san, I would think Bleach Japan would be my best bet. What? Oh, those douchebags? Bleach Japan?
I see.
I get it. It's possible they would be willing to protect him, huh? How? We've seen them to be nothing but shitty jobbers. There's no indication they have weapons or anything. I've already increased the surveillance detail on the Bleach Japan office. We haven't sighted him there yet, but it's possible he's already inside.
Hey-ya.
Hey-ya. What should we do, Ichiban? Hey-ya. Let's say we catch Nanba and bring him here. What would you guys do with him? Catch Nanba, what, are we going to get a Pokeball? That's not my call to make. However, if you do nothing, the Liumang assassins will eventually succeed. It's only a matter of time. Damn it!
Yo.
Yo. We don't have time for this, Kasuga. If we're gonna find him first, we have to take the best bet.
Sup?
Sup? Where's Bleach Japan's office? This is not the only game that does this, but that we will voice act random phrases that are not the actual dialogue thing. I don't understand why any game does this. Either voice act it or don't. Like, sup? Hey, yeah. What the hell? Dakurio building on Carriage Highway. Their Yokohama branch is on the 2nd floor. Cool, I wish we'd known this earlier. I'd just go there to beat up Bleach Japan guys, even if there was no plot reason to do so. Bleached Black. So now he's the loading screen? The last chapter loading screen guy was that Chinese guy, and he, mafia leader, with the crazy delivery. And he really didn't do that much in the story. I mean, I guess he seems more important now than he did then, because now we know he's got assassins looking for our boy Nanba. Oh, well. Go to the Hakurio building. Well, from a purely, what is available to me in gameplay... Oh, and I found out, by the way, where I would have to go. I think it's this is Chapter 8. I believe the next chapter is where you can find a location that will be the first time in the entire game, I think, where we would have the option of doing... of purchasing, rather... what should we call them? Weapons for the 2 DLC classes, Matriarch and Devil Rocker. While finding this out, I read a little bit about both classes. The Matriarch is, at least according to this one website, which seems to go into it in a lot of depth, so I kind of take their word for it. They seem to think that Matriarch is arguably the best class for females, whereas Devil Rocker is just like, okay, for males, and they're like, this would not be worth getting the DLC for, the Devil Rocker class, but Matriarch class has got its uses, apparently. One thing I want to do before we continue the plot too much, though, I found out there's like a secret store that you can find using, but anyway, yeah, sorry. At some point in the next chapter, we get access to the only store in the game that actually sells weapons for them. So, in fact, I probably don't really want to to be using Psycho in that job right now, but I'm stubborn that way. I mean, I suppose I could, if I'm not grinding, it probably doesn't matter that much, but I do want to do something, though. Apparently there's like a hidden store in like one of the southern corners of the map, and I honestly don't remember now if it's the southeast or southwest, but I'm going to take a minute, and yes, I'm going to do it while you guys are watching, and I know that's silly, but I want to take a couple minutes here and see if we can find that shop, because it involves using our, I keep wanting to think of it as the John Cena class, where he's like a white rapper, but it's the construction worker class, which gives Ichiban the ability to knock aside certain barriers and expand the map. And I believe there is, like, we found that store in the, I guess this is Korean Town, right? Survive Bar is up here. This is where the various bars were in the story who are having their power drained by the Gomen Jewel, whatever they are. And this weapon shop up here is run by some guys wearing the creepy, you cannot see my face, I am disguised man, disguise, which I'm now associating with the Koreans, because in this game, the Koreans are like extra mysterious and ninja-y. The Japanese and the Chinese, like the Japanese mafia guys are usually displayed as wearing like suits and being all stylish and hip, and the Chinese guys are usually a little bit, I don't want to say thuggish, but they got the guys who are out there who are just like Kung Fu Master with no shirt on. I guess it's like the Chinese guys, my impression I'm gaining from the game is the Chinese mafia is the rough and tumble one. The Japanese ones is a little bit more like the traditional American mafia in movies, where they're thugs, but they really prize style and appearing to be classy and having money to throw around. But the Koreans in particular, so those are just kind of my impressions I'm picking up. But the Koreans, they've really pushed the idea that they are super mysterious.
You sure you can beat me? Here we go.
Take your best shot.
She's doing a good job. Are those high-heeled boots or they have flats? Because she was running pretty well in those boots.
You're gonna be in a world of hurt.
And I can't
You
quite...
sure you wanna get
Yeah,
killed?
okay, they're high-heeled boots. So that's pretty impressive that she's got that kind of mobility.
Let's see.
Even with flats, I don't know if you want to be doing a lot of running in, like, boots that are tall. Like, you wouldn't, like, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You wouldn't want to be running around in, like, big, tall boots where you could twist an ankle. Ah, here we go. Burst our way into this business that clearly doesn't want us there. Heh, how'd you know to find me here? Well, no matter. Check out what's on the menu. Okay. So we've barely gone through any of our smoke bombs. Okay, we've been wanting these for a while for some delivery quest. Hades tokens. I don't care about the tokens. I feel that like that's a side game that doesn't connect to the main story at all, if I understand it correctly. Iron gloves. This is a Whoppet for a class I'm not using. I pretty much always buy vintage notebook. A notebook detailing the life of a man who never lost sight of his vision of justice. Boosts the amount of job experience that can be obtained. Nice. Hell yeah. This is going to increase, oh, I believe you can buy, I believe I read you can buy 2 of them and it's even more effective. So he should be getting like double job experience. Worldly oh, this is really nice. And we got one of those for this job too. Rising Dragon Belt. Mastered Chivalry. Oh, this is the one for Okay. Her stats are going to be even worse, but this is the one for the job she currently has. Oh, wow. I found out about this place. Style above all other hosts. Man, I wish I'd read about this earlier. Dreamy signature. Yeah, I wish I'd found out about this earlier. We're going to be getting all sorts of boosts to job experience. Because I think they get double if they have 2 of them equipped. Gambler's tie. I'm going to assume I'm never going to have 2 characters in the same job, and if I do, I can come back. And not every single... Wow, okay, yeah, I'm glad I looked this place up. Because we should be getting, like, double job experience for... everybody except Kasuga, actually. We'll find out in a minute. Let's fight some guys and just see what happens to our job experience gains. Now, of course, that takes up their slot, so Eri will be susceptible to stun. She is apparently unusually susceptible to stun, but immune to other stuff, I guess. Poor guy didn't even get down before the follow-up attack got laid on him. Yeah, double job experience. Nice. Alright, how much time is left in this video? We're just about ready to wrap this baby up. So let's hop a cab to Cafe Brave. Do I have any more part-time hero that I can turn in while I'm next to a part-time hero? They just kind of reminded me. Nothing reportable right now. So let's hop a cab up there, save our game when we get there, and when we come back next time, we'll get back into the story. And even though it's not really, she's not particularly effective right now, Psycho will be learning skills at that matriarch job really fast. Still, I could probably hold off on that, but that would mean admitting some kind of fault, and I just can't do that. Oh, this is apparently part-time hero, like, headquarters. Hi. I am Ashokuzuki. Please enjoy one of our finest martial arts films. See, I don't know how many videos were in the collection. Like, we had it at the... I used to work, like, many, many years ago. I worked at a video store back when they were a thing. Because, yes, folks, I'm old. And, this was like the high school / summer college job. And, you know, we got free video rentals except on, you know, the weekends and blah, blah. And I was watching all these martial arts movies and trying to do like a Mystery Science Theater type of thing with them. Just not like recording or anything, just like, you know, watching them and kind of joking on them. And there was at least 2 or 3 movies from the same, quote, collection. And they were just like cheap-ass Hong Kong movies, some American dubbers that got the rights to dub. But they shot these little intro pieces with Sho Kosugi where he would demonstrate a weapon and talk about a weapon, and never had anything to do with the movie. And then at the end, he would, at the end of his little, like, you know, very brief intro piece that they would splice on before the movie, he would introduce the movie, but he wouldn't introduce the movie by name. Sho Kosugi, by the way, is a martial arts guy from the 70s. I really got to wrap this up. The Mystery Science Theater episode guide amused me because Sho Kosugi was like listed as a guest star. He was the recurring bad guy, like former pupil of Master Ninja in the Master Ninja series. And the Master Ninja was a TV series that got repackaged as movies and was riffed on Mystery Science Theater. So Sho Kosugi's on that. The Mystery Science Theater guide was like kind of the guy who wrote that the Master Ninja entries was like, who is Sho Kosugi? He's very mysterious. We're interested in who he is, but like it's like, yeah, you could look him up if you wanted to. He was a martial arts guy. He made some movies in the 70s. He was never anywhere near the fame of like a Bruce Lee, but they kind of tried to treat him like he was. And in this particular martial arts, these DHS, he would have like he would talk about some weapon from Japan, and they would have some kind of staged fight where he would be fighting with these weapons. And then at the end, he would quote intro the movie, but he would never refer to the movie by name because it was apparent that they just filmed these with no regard for what movie they would be connected to, and he would just say, "Please enjoy one of our finest martial arts movies," and then they would start playing some like Z-list Hong Kong action movie like from the '60s that they'd gotten the rights to, and yeah. All right, so when we come back, I will try to not pause and interrupt quite as often, and we will try to continue the story. Please enjoy. Thank you.